LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is packed with Easter eggs, from Bioshock and SpongeBob references to hidden nods to Batman's entire history. I've spent hours tracking everything down so I could record them all myself, and trust me, some of these are incredibly easy to miss. As always, if you know of anything that isn't featured in this video, then let me know in the comments, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's cover these Easter eggs in the order that they appear in the game, with the first reference being found in the Falcone confrontation mission. After taking care of a group of thugs, Ra's al Ghul will say this.
I have a particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like Carmine Falcone.
So that line of dialogue is a reference to the 2008 movie Taken, starring Liam Neeson, who plays Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Up next is the mountain climb, and this isn't an Easter egg as such, but it is a pretty funny fourth wall break. When scaling the mountain, you can do this.
Yeah, that's right. You can pet the yaks.
The next mission of interest is the Iceberg Lounge, which has loads of things to find, starting with a member of royalty. When preparing Falcone's meal, you can find this. So it's a shark wearing a crown, which may seem odd to some people. And I mean, usually it would be, but in the DC universe, this is almost certainly meant as a reference to King Shark. As you make your way further into the level, you can find a private room called Arkham Asylum, which is pretty clever. Anyway, if you knock on the door, this will happen.
Go away! We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
No, thank you! We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
Now, the deeper you head into the Iceberg Lounge, the more you will notice these underwater displays. Of course, most of these are just glorified fish tanks with nothing much to see, but a couple of them are hiding secrets. For example, if you look through this window, you can see the homes of Squidward and SpongeBob from SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, it is kind of hard to make out, and for some reason I couldn't use photo mode in this mission, but that definitely is a pineapple under the sea. Up next is the first of many anime references found in LEGO Batman, with this underwater creation being a reference to the Going Merry ship from One Piece. Now, both of those Easter eggs are great, but this final reference found in the Iceberg Lounge is definitely the most unexpected. So this is a Big Daddy from Bioshock, and I'm not gonna lie, seeing this has made me really want a LEGO Bioshock set. Anyway, it's time to leave the Iceberg Lounge and make our way to Wayne Tower, and during the Family Friend mission, this cutscene will play.
Here to see Mr. Lucius Fox.
Oh. Applied Sciences in the basement.
Nice card. Is that eggshell?
Bruce Wayne? You are not gonna believe this.
The tasteful thickness of it. It even has a watermark.
So the sharply dressed man admiring Bruce's business card is a reference to the famous business card scene from American Psycho, which starred Batman actor Christian Bale.
Oh my god, it even has a watermark.
Oh, and after visiting Lucius Fox down in the R&D department, this cutscene will play. So the sight of Alfred sliding into view wearing a shirt and socks isn't just how the loyal butler spends his free time. It's also a reference to the 1983 Tom Cruise movie, Risky Business. Now, whether this next discovery is an Easter egg or not is up for debate, but I can guarantee you that whenever you hear this particular sound, you notice it. As Ace Chemicals crumbles around Batman and Jim, you can hear this. So it's the famous Wilhelm scream that has been heard in countless movies, TV shows and games over the years. Right, it's time for a bit of shopping now as we visit Shreck's department store. No, not that Shreck, this Shreck, which originally featured in 1992's Batman Returns, where Catwoman whipped the heads off the store's mannequins simply because she could. Well, in Legacy of the Dark Knight, if you try to whip the mannequins, the same thing will happen. Oh, and it's not just the mannequins that Catwoman can whip. If you whip Batman, you can do this. So Batman will spin around breaking anything that he comes into contact with. I mean, I'm no expert, but he does seem to be enjoying it. Anyway, moving on to one of the more subtle Batman movie references found in the game. When riding the elevator, even the normally happy-go-lucky music that you're used to hearing will be replaced by the Batman theme song. Another level that is full of things to find is the Arctic World mission, which sees Batman trying to track down the Penguin. Now, you might think that would mean that time is of the essence, but if you want, you can take a break and ride a tiny Batmobile.
Yay!
Now, this might seem random, and to be honest, it kind of is, but this is actually a reference to the way that the Penguin controlled the Batmobile in Batman Returns. So I said that I didn't expect to see a LEGO Batman game reference Bioshock. Well, I definitely didn't expect to see a LEGO Batman game reference Five Nights at Freddy's. You see, throughout Arctic World, you can find creepy looking animatronics that say things like this.
Think you have the guts for the job? Then come on down. Our bears can't wait to have you for dinner.
So these animatronics are of course a reference to the murderous animatronics from the FNAF series, and it seems that Batman knows just how dangerous they can be, as he will sometimes say this.
Wouldn't want to work the night shift in this place.
So Batman's utility belt always seems to have the right gadget he needs for any situation. And I do mean any situation. Now, I'm guessing that shark attacks in the city of Gotham are pretty rare, but that doesn't mean that Batman will ever leave home without his trusty can of shark repellent, which is of course a reference to the 1966 Batman movie. Now, when you finally catch up to the Penguin in the cold-blooded mission, he doesn't shut up, spouting one-liners whenever he can, including this.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals!
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal!
Now that line of dialogue is cool, but this is even better.
So anyway, I started blasting!
My gun!
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bam! Bam!
Of course, that line was said by Danny DeVito, who played the Penguin in Batman Returns, so when you think about it, it's kind of like a double reference. Now, the museum in the Party Man mission is packed with DC history, and unlike a lot of the background references that we've looked at so far, Batman actually comments on most of these exhibits. These include the Dark Knight Returns comic book cover,
Yeah, pulled a hamstring trying to strike that pose.
a painting of Batman creators Bob Kane and Bill Finger,
The man behind the proverbial cowl.
the cover of the Detective Comics issue where Batman debuted,
Now this takes me back.
Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth,
Honestly, I'll stick with my grapple.
a piece of kryptonite,
I hope they've got insurance. What a beautiful crystal. Something about it is so alien.
and finally a Green Lantern that's a reference to... well, it's a reference to the Green Lantern.
Well, I've already got the willpower part down.
Before finding the lantern though, you do need to open the shutters to the next room, which means using one of Catwoman's trusty felines. Well, if the cat stands on the guard's keyboard, this will happen. So this image is a reference to the keyboard cat meme, which feels like it's been around since the dawn of time. Next up is a trip to Haley's Circus, where I found just the one reference. It's a reference that a lot of you will recognise. When dodging Two-Face's attacks, he will say this.
How'd you like to see a barrel roll?
Do a barrel roll!
Now, so far, a lot of these Easter eggs have been kind of obvious, but this next one is really easy to miss. During the power plant mission, you can find this. So, throwing a batarang at the toy boat will cause a tiny shark to appear and eat the boat, which is a reference to the boat-hungry shark seen in the 1975 movie Jaws. Now, this next Easter egg doesn't happen during a mission. Instead, it happens at the end of Chapter 3, where the intro for the Batman animated show is recreated in LEGO form, which is really, really cool. Moving on now to another Easter egg pack level, this time it's Night at the Museum. And with it being a museum, you would expect to find some prehistoric Easter eggs. And that's why finding the Flintstones car shouldn't be that surprising, but it still is. Next up is a reference/roast aimed in the direction of The Rock. Sitting on a throne will cause Batman to say this.
The hierarchy of power in Gotham is about to change.
So that was a reference to the time that The Rock said this when trying to promote Black Adam. The key word there being trying.
What you're going to see here is why the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
Another DC character reference can be found a little later in the level, with this photo board featuring the body of Martian Manhunter, who, let's not forget, gave the best rendition of the Batman theme song in LEGO Batman 3.
Nana 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 nana. John Jones.
Now, the antifreeze mission doesn't have much to find, but the one reference it does have is a personal favourite. In an attempt to squeeze information out of Black Mask, Batgirl and Batman beat up his car, which is a reference to the car-beating minigame from the Street Fighter series. Now, the Clown Chaos mission sees Batman trying to find the Joker, which is just a normal Tuesday for the Dark Knight. However, things are a little more complicated this time around, as the Joker has made people dress up as the Clown Prince of Crime from different eras. So, this Joker is the 60s version played by Cesar Romero, and this sign-spinning Joker is a reference to the 2019 Joker played by Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, we're finally at the last story mission now. Or at least the last story mission that I've managed to find something in, that being a serious house. Now, of course, this mission begins with a recreation of the Arkham Asylum intro, as Bats accompanies a couple of guards who are escorting the Joker into Arkham. Though there is one slight change. Instead of your leisurely stroll being interrupted by Killer Croc, like it was in Asylum, it's instead put on hold by Solomon Grundy. When you finally make it to the holding cells, you're given the opportunity to explore a bit. And if you take a look inside the cells, you can see a prisoner who is trying to dig his way out using a spoon, whilst using a poster to cover his tracks, which is a reference to the Eggcellent Shawshank Redemption. Now, something that's really cool is that you can speak to all of the prisoners in the holding cells, with some of Batman's most recognisable villains being locked up, along with some of his not so recognisable villains.
I never thought you'd pay me a visit, Batman. You're usually in here to chat to the Joker. Well, I guess the yoke is on me.
Well, when you speak to Deadshot, he will say this.
You come here to take a good look at us? What are we to you? Some kind of rogues gallery?
What, we some kind of suicide squad?
The final mission-related reference is a classic. One of the goons you have to fight when these cells inevitably open is this guy.
You finished, old man. Peter gonna dust ya.
You don't get it, son. The only one getting dusted is you.
You finished, old man.
You don't get it, son.
Right, so that does it for the main story mission-related stuff. It's now time to take a look at all the things that you can find in the Batcave. And trust me, there's a lot. First up are all these special trophies that you can use to decorate your hideout. And this includes the Bat-Hound doghouse, which is where Ace the Bat-Hound would live if he was in the game. Well, if you interact with the doghouse, this will happen.
Quite a right.
Next up is the arcade cabinet, which can be found at several locations around Gotham, but can also be enjoyed in the Batcave. Anyway, the names on the high scoreboard are all references to past or present Batman actors. Well, apart from the high score, of course, which belongs to Batman himself. Next on the list is CHR, which is Christian Bale. PAT is Robert Pattinson, VAL is Val Kilmer, and AFL is Ben Affleck. It's worth noting that Ben Affleck is bottom of the leaderboard with a really, really low score, which does seem quite harsh. Now, in what are perhaps the coolest trophies in the entire game, you are able to build an Arkham Asylum diorama and blueprints for Arkham City. When interacting with the city blueprints, Batman will say this.
Making Arkham into a city? Like that'll catch on. Took a few tries to blow through that wall, but I always find a way. Nobody keeps secrets from the Batman.
Now that's cool, but if you want a true Arkham series deep cut, try interacting with the Asylum diorama. Speaking of Arkham references, if you build the Lady Arkham statue and then interact with it, this will happen. So, the face of the Joker appearing and then disappearing moments later is a reference to the Lady Gotham statue changing its appearance in Arkham Knight, thanks to the effects of the Scarecrow's fear toxin, which is one of my favourite Easter eggs / details in that game. The other trophy that I thought was cool was the boombox. You see, when it's placed in the Batcave, it doesn't do anything. If you use your Batarang, you're able to turn the boombox on and even change songs. Now, the next Easter egg can be found all over Gotham. Well, more specifically outside of cinemas, but it's easier just to go through them in the Batcave. You see, a lot of the movie posters in the game are referencing real-world movies, and these include references to Indiana Jones, The Shining, Ocean's 11, The Iron Giant, The Matrix, Goodfellas, Beetlejuice, Mad Max, Dune, Space Jam, and Wonka. The ones that I don't recognise are Parody Holiday, Alien Conquest, and Forever Sorting 3. So if you know, let me know. Now, when you're in the Batcave, you're not alone. Alfred can often be seen pottering around, making himself busy, and he will often comment on whatever Batman is doing. Well, one of the comments is very strange.
I know bats are mammals, but I am glad we moved away from the anatomically correct torsos. The nipples were a little much.
Now, before you call HR, Alfred talking about bat nipples is a reference to the batsuits that featured nipples. Anyway, moving on from bat nipples, Alfred also says this.
Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up. Batman Begin.
So not only is that a reference to the core message of Batman Begins and the entire Dark Knight trilogy as a whole, but it's also a nod to the tweet sent by Alfred actor Michael Caine, which is still funny to this very day. Speaking of funny, when running around the Batcave, the bat phone will sometimes ring, and if you answer it, you'll be taunted by Bane, which is surprisingly not intimidating, just really, really strange.
Hey, Batman! You stink. Oh, that's all. Is your refrigerator running? I bet it is. It probably has one of those fancy built-in ice machines too, am I right? Batman? More like Bougie Man. Ra's al Ghul sends a message. He says, "Thanks for destroying my ancient order of ninjas, you treacherous aristocrat." Hey, what is it like fighting in a rubber suit, Batman? I bet it gets really smelly in there. Is that Todd from the Smoothie Shack? Listen, you juice artist. If you misspell my name as Bang one more time, it shall be you and your shack that is going bang. Understood? Knock knock, who's there? Bane! Gotham's reckoning.
The final thing found in the Batcave is extremely well hidden. Down on one of the cliff edges, you can find this.
How can it be unmade?
Now, I said that was the final thing to see in the Batcave, but that's because the next reference is seen when leaving the Batcave. During the dynamic duo mission, when you return to Gotham, this will happen.
And away we go!
So that's a reference to the transition seen in the Batman TV show. Now, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I couldn't recreate this outside of that mission. no matter what combination of skins are used, which is a shame. Okay, that's enough of the Batcave. It's time to visit Bat-Mite's store to see what he has on sale. First up is this monolith, which will set you back 2001 studs, which is a reference to the monolith from 2001 A Space Odyssey. The office lamp has a description of I love lamp, which is a reference to Anchorman.
I love lamp. I love lamp.
This planter of roses has a description of these get Batman's seal of approval, which is a reference to the Seal song Kiss from a Rose that was part of the official soundtrack for Batman Forever. This diner counter has a description of serves a mighty fine coffee and slice of cherry pie, which is a reference to Twin Peaks.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
I mean, the price might also be a reference, but I'm not sure. Finally, you can purchase the Tree Flash, which is another reference to Wonder Woman's lasso. Now, there are some things that can't be bought in the store. These include posters referencing Avatar, Attack on Titan, Akira, Sailor Moon, Mobile Suit Gundam, Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z. Finally, in an attempt to mimic the greatest video game merchant ever, there is a really rare chance that Bat-Mite might say this.
What are you, boy? Hang on. Phew, that one's hard in the vocal cords. No idea how he does it.
Welcome. What are you buying?
I mean, I say this is rare, but that's because it took me ages to actually record it, and it's at this point loads of you are going to say that he says it for you all the time, which will be really annoying. Right, we're in the home stretch now, so let's take a look at what can be found in Gotham itself, starting with the iconic bat symbol. You see, the bat symbol is used to guide you during missions, but what's really cool is the bat symbol used will change to reflect the era of the Batman story that you're playing. So here is the bat symbol when teaming up with Robin. Here it is when you're with Batgirl, here it is with Nightwing, and here it is with Talia. I mean, that's not even all of them, but it's still a really cool detail. Another cool detail can be seen when breaking fire hydrants. When a hydrant is broken, your character will float on top of the water as it pours out. This is the same for every character in the game, except one. Another funny interaction can be seen when getting in your partner's way. If you sit on the same vantage point as your ally, they will be visibly annoyed. Now, a lot of the buildings in Gotham have modelled interiors, which you'll ignore 99% of the time. However, one of these interiors is home to an Easter egg. At several different locations, you can see a whiteboard through a window. And despite the first step being hard to make out, step 2 is definitely a question mark, and the third step is profit, which is a reference to this scene from South Park.
Phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, Phase 3, profit.
Now, just like Arkham City, you can visit Crime Alley in LEGO Batman, which is of course where Batman's parents were murdered. And if you do, you can find this. Another tribute can be found on one of the many in-game billboards. After Hours with Conroy is a reference to Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy, who sadly passed away in 2022. The billboard calls Conroy the voice of Gotham's night, which couldn't be more true. Next up, if you visit the diner, there's a chance that you will hear this.
Do you have any food challenges? I want to get my picture on the wall.
Well, if you can eat 55 burgers, 55 shakes, and 55 tacos, we'll ask you to leave.
Hi, can I take your order?
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55
So the final Easter egg is one that requires the use of the game's photo mode. If you head to the road that leads to Arkham, you can find a patch of gooey liquid. And I probably wouldn't stand in it. Well, if you enter photo mode, you will meet the Gentleman Ghost, which is really cool. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is appreciated, and if you found anything that I missed, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.